Token Sale Fundamentals in 2023.
Good morning, everybody. The 10 a.m. graveyard shift, as we call it, on day 2 of a conference is always a little bit empty. But it's okay, we're going to persevere anyway, we're going to continue. The irony of it is I think most of the crowd is people that I know, which is really cool to see. So welcome everybody to day 2 of the AIBC Summit. Such a great day 1, right? And salam alaikum. Thank you for being here. Guys, token regulations in 2023, what a minefield topic, and I've got the grand total of 10 minutes to talk to you about it. I don't think that's really something we can properly talk about in 10 minutes, but this is why we use the term fundamentals. How are we going to build some fundamentals around token sales in 2023? Well, the irony of it is, and one of the things I talk about a lot, is that the actual fundamentals of a token sale hasn't changed since early 2017. The landscape may have shifted, but there's an age-old expression. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So what do we mean by fundamentals? Well, let's kickstart with this. What does the token do? Who is selling it? And what is the project behind it? If we talk about fundamentals, those are our 3 fundamentals, right? And we can make this interactive. This is small enough, so anybody can, you can jump in on this. But for me, the fundamentals, those are the 3. So the first thing is, what does the token do? And in a 2023 digital asset age, those are the things that have changed the most, what tokens do. If we spoke back in 2017, 2018, everybody would have told you that they were selling a, altogether, utility token. It was the only thing people sold. Now it's grown. We've got utility tokens, security tokens, governance tokens, NFTs, digital asset land, staking tokens. This list just goes on and on and on. Now really, and one of the things I was talking about the other day with a good friend of mine who is in the audience, is that it doesn't matter what you call a token. Shakespeare quote, rose by any other name. If a token does something, it doesn't matter what you call it. So we have to look at what the underlying token does. And the questions are, does it give you voting rights? Does it entitle you to quorum, which means are you allowed to make decisions? Does it give you a right of dividend, meaning do you get money back from it? And are you able to freely transfer it? It's an important point. If you can't freely transfer it, you don't fully own it. So if all of those pieces are in place, we start leaning more towards the security. If none of those things exist, then we go back to more of the utility aspect. And what do we mean by utility? A reward token, an engagement token, a benefit token. A utility token is anything that doesn't give people rights. And that is a very important point. So now we've distinguished what the token does, let's talk about the project behind it. And this is one of the things that people used to skip over a lot, but now they actually take more time in. If I was to flash back to 2017, 2018, a lot of people were making a lot of money doing very, very little. I think it's a pretty fair statement, right? People would publish a white paper, things would be built on hopes and dreams, you could sell a token and raise a few $1 million very quickly. Now we've become a little bit more educated. I think educated is the right word to use. So we do something that everybody should have been doing from day 1, and that's due diligence. What does the project do? Meaning, what are they trying to achieve? Fundamentals. What are they building? Where are they going? What's the market industry they're targeting? And 101, what is the problem they're solving? Now, everybody knows this in business economics 101. If you are building a company, it has to solve a problem. Doesn't matter whether it's chairs, tables, aircraft, anything. If you do something, it has to solve a problem. Otherwise, you don't create a market segment. So what does this company actually do? Well, that's the second thing we have to look at. Creating a company for the sake of creating a company doesn't cut it anymore. So due diligence, fundamentals. Where are they incorporated? Do they carry a license? Are they transparent around what they're doing? Is their business objectives achievable? It's a big thing. Now, it is in a 2023 age, and I think Gary Vee said this best on the stage yesterday, it is totally fine to reach for the stars, to strive for something. I think that's an underlying message that he delivers, right? And you have to do that in business time and time again. Don't limit yourself, don't set your dreams back, and really make sure that what you're trying to build and achieve is deliverable. And the same is true when you do due diligence on a project, okay? You have to make sure that the project is doing something achievable. So understand it, learn it, make sure it makes sense. So we've got jurisdiction, we've got licensing, we've got projectability. The final thing is the team behind it. This feeds into the last section of things you should look at. What is the team like behind it? What do they bring? And there is a very interesting thing when we look at token sale fundamentals that isn't in existence in any other corporate structure. And this is the most important thing. Token sales are a lot like a football team, for those of you that are interested in sports. And what I mean by that is at some point during the game, there has to be a substitution. And I'll use more of an American football analogy for those of you who are familiar with American football. There has to be a physical switch from offensive to defensive. The team has to switch. And you can keep some rock stars in there, and you can keep the coach the same, and you can keep the fundamentals the same. But what do I mean by that? Well, the token sale team might not necessarily be the team that takes the company through to its mission objectives. You can have rock star salespeople, you can have rock star token developers, you can have a rock star software team, rock star marketing team, and they know exactly what they're doing in token sales. And if you don't believe me, go and catch all of the PR firms and all of the development firms out there. And they got one vertical market, right? Tokens, digital assets, is what they do. And then I ask a lot of clients and I ask a lot of people here, well, what's the team switch? What's the plan? Who takes over the marketing when your token sale's done? Who takes over steering the ship once you've minted the tokens and they've been distributed to token holders, or you've sold all of that virtual land, or your NFT sale is completed? Who takes over? People make the mistake of believing that just because they're competent enough to undertake a token sale, they operate well within the digital asset space. That gives them a skill set to go out and run a company. And that isn't always the case. And it's one of the reasons why, a bit of a self-plug here, I call myself a digital asset lawyer, because I'm not a criminal lawyer. I don't do criminal stuff. And it's the same with any walk of life, right? If you went to your dentist and they were telling you about what a fantastic carpenter they were, you'd be a little bit worried. You'd kind of want them to stick with one skill set. And so that team switch that has to happen, it might not be the complete team, but what it has to be is some of the fundamentals. Who's going to run it? How's it going to run? Because if things go right, if they go right, you should go from a standing start, conception, our idea, to, hey, we're now a multi-million-dollar business in a very short period of time. That's the benefit of token sales. That's the benefit of digital asset sales. You go from a standing start to making a lot of money. And you don't pick up that skill set overnight. So when you're looking at the team as part of your due diligence, remember we're on the third thing here, understand how that team is going to switch and who they're going to bring in. And I think one of the best expressions I've ever heard, and I think it was either Zig Ziglar or Tony Robbins that said it, was, if I'm the smartest man in the room, I'm in the wrong room. And that should be the view that your founders, your token builders, the guy that built it, the guy or the girl or whoever that built it, should have in their mind. I can do this from here, but I need somebody to bring me along. And huge companies do that. That's why the big four firms exist, Accenture, KPMG, all of that, because companies need help in growth cycles. So make sure you're thinking of that when you look at it. So we've gone through 3 fundamentals, right, in our 10 minutes here. It's been a pretty short but pretty long 10 minutes. We looked at what the project's doing, what the token sales they're doing, and how you assess, meaning what's the underlying team looking like. And I think if you take those 3 things, if I give you a 10-minute snap, those 3 things will help you understand exactly the fundamentals that you need to understand in a token sale in 2023. And that's my 10 minutes, guys. So I want to thank you all for being rock stars, being here, listening to me. Have a great day. And I'm going to be on stage with these guys next.